One moment.
That was not the correct video. Good evening, my darlings, and welcome to Philly by Night, a vampire 5th edition game set in the world of darkness in the city of brotherly love. Tonight, you will be joining those of us at the Emissaries table, and as always, we start our game with the usual content and trigger warnings. This is, in fact, a horror-themed game. So this session may contain and is not limited to body horror, mutilation, manipulation, gaslighting, the use and abuse of disciplines, raised voices, the possibility of violence leading up to final death, possible discussions of methods of torture, starvation, and the mentions of, and of course, considering the table, religious extremes. Everyone at the table knows our stoplight system for managing our emotions and our triggers. If you have not been watching, Philadelphia is a city in flux. After a short but very bloody coup, Philadelphia is once again under a camarilla prince, one John Sexton, with quite a few newfangled ideas for how to run his particular city. It seems odd that a camarilla prince would not chop up his domain among clan lines, as do so many other cities the size of Philadelphia. Part of that might just be because there aren't enough for really any clan to make much of a splash. So perhaps it's simply logistics, or perhaps this particular prince is angling for something more. We find our emissaries on the evening of their formal introductions to His Grace and their formal request for hospitality in his domain. They have been informed at the last minute that their leader, the individual who brought them together, the individual who holds a position at court, will not be joining them for this introduction, and instead they will be escorted by the gangrel elder, Naomi McDowell. We will begin our scene just outside the Philadelphia Museum of Art, where it is rumored that our prince holds court. Ladies, gentlemen, feral beasts, I give you the floor. Shall we?
We shall. We will herd everyone inside. She's found some variety of jackets so that her top is not outright a violation of the law, but you can't imagine that it's going to stay there for very long.
Ashton has heeded Lord Bridgerton's advice, and he is more clothed than he'd probably like to be in this moment, dressed to the nines in a very well tailored blue and black suit.
Sharky is put together as he always is. There's not a thing out of place. It's a little rough around the edges, but all of his outfits tend to be a little bit of the gangrel peeking through. A nice three-piece suit with a white button down underneath it. Uh, got that swagger that he is so known for that make him seem like he might be something that he's not.
A disappointment, but we'll see if we can fix that.
Beck is wearing a three-piece gray vintage suit with some pinstriping, a flat cap, and just generally quiet and stoic academic air about him.
To give the audience a slightly better idea, because some of you may not be in our Discord and may not have seen, but Naomi is a 5'7", lean, red-headed firebrand of a woman, dressed in pants, boots, and a top that would probably be illegal if she didn't currently have something kind of covered over it, and generally seems to be irritated that she is as clothed as she is.
What a lovely night we're having, isn't it?
When she's also carrying this massive green box underneath one arm, and goes, could be raining. That'd be better.
Indeed. And at this point, you would see that there is a box that Ashton is carrying, almost like a jewelry box. And then a package probably like this, yay big, both of which are wrapped in like gold and blue wrapping paper and done up very nicely and very ornately.
As you all begin to enter the Philadelphia Museum of Art, it is gorgeous. White marble floors, spotless. Should you have the desire to, you could very likely eat off of those floors. However, as you approach what you have been told and given directions to as the throne room, you see two figures, neither of them on the throne, and neither the individuals you have been led to expect. One of them is a fairly small, waifish, Zoe Deschanel looking figure in a dark suit and Louboutin heels. The other, well, the other, I'll let him explain.
The other is a 6'2", broad-shouldered individual wearing a sort of bomber jacket over flannel with some easily identified pointy objects underneath, uh, hoisting a shotgun in one hand with a sword dangling off one hip. His face is covered, concealed by a black helmet that completely encompasses his head. Very reminiscent of the Red Hood of Jason Todd, but black.
Oh, good. You're all here. Please follow me. And the wayfish individual will click off away from the throne room.
And we look at the armored figure and go, "So what's your story, tall, dark, and spooky?"
You gotta buy me drinks first to get that. You should follow the miss.
Oh, I'll have to slip you my card. That much weaponry. You're definitely a good time.
Hmm.
Ashton has immediately started following the Zoe Deschanel type.
Of course he has. I wouldn't expect any different.
Assuming the other two or other three fall in line, the large man will head up the rear, making sure there's no stragglers.
Dr. Sharky, how are you reacting to this change of plans?
Well, Doctor came in not really anticipating much of anything. So they're just standing by, waiting to see what's going to happen. It's quiet and paying attention.
Sharky is obviously we've been beckoned to move forward and beckoned to come with them. Sharky is going to be following, but he's also going to be bringing up the rear. Not quite as far behind as this concerningly large man is, but he's going to keep behind the other two, just in case.
Aren't you all being a rather obedient bunch, considering you were sent here to meet a prince, and instead drew a pair of tower lackeys?
I would argue, with Ashton's history in particular, his train of thought went to with what he knows is going on with the prince, being a holiday and all. Either A, they're taking us to a different place to meet him, or B, he's indisposed. And as Ashton's walking forward, he's going to kind of say to the lady, I was under the impression we were here to meet the sort of head, as it were.
Oh, yes. Mr. Harrison decided that it would be better to meet in more comfortable environments.
Interesting. Well, good to
After
know.
all, you are guests in the city.
His hospitality doesn't go unnoticed. It's much appreciated of his grace.
That's Mr. Harrison, always thinking ahead. And she
Either that or
clicks
he
her
wants to
way
keep
out.
his that or he wants to keep his floors white for just a little while longer.
Oh no, he doesn't care about that. We just had the cleaners in this morning.
Oh, good.
And she
I'll keep that in mind.
She clicks her way out to a parking garage where you find a waiting SUV. It would be large enough and comfortable enough for the lot of you to sit in. And Miss Wayne climbs into the driver's seat and patiently waits for everybody to climb aboard.
Ashton, now seeing the SUV, is a little more skeptical than he was previously. because he was not told he was leaving the museum. Can I make a insight check to see if she's actually telling the truth?
Oh, absolutely. You should feel perfectly free to make your wits and insight.
Cool. Where did that go?
Box of Doom.
Doom, 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 doom.
Rolling dice in the box of doom.
We're gonna spend a point of willpower on that.
Probably wise.
Oh wow. Nope, that's 2 successes with the bestial fail.
Cool. Is Ms. Wayne attempting to mask or hide what her orders are?
Nope,
And then,
she
of
seems
course,
completely at ease.
there is the passing fact that Ms. Wayne still possesses a heartbeat.
Okay.
So, seems to be being perfectly on the level. The prince has simply decided to move this introduction to more comfortable, less formal quarters.
Okay. Once he kind of susses it out for a minute, he'll hop in the van. Or the SUV.
Naomi will wait for the other two to get in first before entering in herself. And you don't even have to have a lot of insight to see the amount of, like, if they are in any danger, she feels like she could absolutely handle this. And in fact, the fact that we're going to be in an SUV just makes it more exciting for her.
That ever popular secondary location.
Sharky gets into the SUV, but he does take out a package of smokes and starts smoking a cigarette because he wasn't expecting this. This is a little stressful.
I will have to remind you, sir, that if there are any burns in the car, Mr. Harrison will have to charge you for it. Smoke smell is fine. We can get that cleaned, but that leather, very expensive.
I'm certain. I'll make certain to keep it contained. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. And she'll start up the SUV once everybody's on board and begin driving.
Dr. Spartan, how are we doing this evening?
Waiting for the rest before climbing in the passenger seat next to Miss Wayne.
Noticing that everyone, though maybe begrudgingly, climbs in, Beck will go ahead and climb in towards the back of the vehicle and sit, assessing everything, just watching.
And off we go. The vehicle is traveling at perfect speed limit, sometimes a little bit fast, but it is with the flow of traffic. And as anyone who has ever driven in a metropolitan city is aware, speed limits are more suggestions anyway. Moving away from the outskirts, you are driving directly into downtown. You are driving directly into the fashionable office, high-rise buildings area. And where you stop appears to be a very fancy office building, but it is a very fancy office building with a lighted pyramid at the top of it. there is a sort of sign near the front of the building that advertises this as the Pyramid Club.
Club or pyramid scheme? Who wants to take bets? How about you, Sharky? This seems to be your line of business.
This feels very blatant, like of what kind of group owns this business, and Sharky is made uncomfortable, knowing what he knows about the city, knowing about the things that exist in this city. Uncomfy. So he sees the sign for the Pyramid Club, and he sort of grips the armrests of his seat. You're right. It does seem like someplace I would enjoy, doesn't it?
Who knows? Maybe we'll get to nibble on a little trimmy or two.
I wouldn't advise that, Naomi.
They don't tend to taste well. In fact, sometimes they can be downright poisonous.
It's all in how you prepare it.
I suppose.
Miss Wayne will glide up, put the vehicle in park, remove the keys from the ignition, step out, hand the keys to the waiting valet along with a sizable wad of currency. It's for Mr. Harrison. Lock it up and he'll kill you. Before turning back to the group and looking very chipper and cheerful, right this way, and clicks into the building.
Vic will slowly climb out from the back and just follow, watching, keeping an eye.
She will lead you through the lobby, which has a very Art Deco theme to it, all the way back to what looks like a private elevator. She'll reach into her jacket, pull out an RFID card, press it up against the panel, and the doors will glide open. She will turn, hand the RFID card to the Spartan. Play nice. I'll be here when you're done.
I always play nice. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll see about that later. And she clicks off.
He will motion for the group to get into the elevator. All right. We're almost there. Quick trip upstairs and we'll get you guys where you need to be.
Vic walks in, stands in the back corner of the elevator, appearing to give everybody plenty of room.
Question.
Ashton is going to wait for the apparently the guard, more or less, to get in the elevator before he does, because he doesn't want to have his back towards him.
He is not going to move till you're in that elevator.
Fine. Once Ashton realizes he's not going, he'll get in the elevator.
Question, Mr. Spartan, as he's walking in. Is she always so chipper? She's delightful.
I don't know if I've ever seen her not chipper, even with the snark remarks. And once everybody is in, kind of goes in, hits the button for the appropriate floor, and rides it all the way up. When it dings, he steps out, allows the others to exit, before escorting them to see our wonderful, yet possibly hangry, Prince Sexton.
The Pyramid Club has been set up something like a conference space. Tables, comfortable chairs. There is a 5'8" figure dressed in full hijab, black and silver, running around in what appear to be nervous circles, placing glasses, slightly adjusting the angles of pictures, otherwise just seemingly preparing.
The minute that Naomi sees that figure, she will literally drop her package on whatever table's nearby, yell "Nyacht" at the top of her lungs, and go running over and tackle her.
Would you like to roll for hug?
How does one roll for hug?
That's going to
Because I
be
will
a
do it.
strength and brawl.
Oh, good. This is a good one. Oh.
Ashton is just like, oh, damn it. Damn it, Naomi.
Oh, oh hey, that works. I like that.
Yeet the self. Yes, indeedy. Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. What everyone else would hear is that yell, and then sort of a squeal, and all of the sudden the hijabbed figure and Naomi are just a tangle on the floor.
Amazing.
Question, storyteller.
Yes.
Has Ashton met this person?
Ashton would not have met them. They would have an idea of who that is, though.
Okay, cool.
Did you have to do that?
I at least put down my package first. I was just so very happy to see you. It's been many years, you know. And then you went to Florida, and I couldn't see you, and I was stuck elsewhere, and she'll just be helping Alicia up off of her feet, so they're both back on their feet, kind of
Well-
putting her clothes back together because she might have fallen out. Who knows?
Someone did tell you that clothes were not optional for this meeting, right?
I'm wearing clothes. It covers all the bits. I haven't put on boots.
Tia, your shirt is see-through.
What? It's just what God gave me. Why shouldn't I put it on display?
I mean, normal folks would probably dress more to be meeting their niece's husband.
You remember what my normal wardrobe looks like, right?
You're right, this is probably an improvement.
But anyways, here the others the other emissaries are here. Let's go and get you introduced, and then you can show us your wonderful new husband.
Oh, right. Right. Hello there.
Good evening.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hello there, Maya.
Right. So you lot work for Davis, right? For Beagle.
Correct.
So you would have already gotten kind of the lowdown, I guess.
Degree.
Yes.
Right. So y'all already know who I am, but I suppose it's polite to just give you a reminder. Hi, I'm Alicia Sexton. Used to be Esther Falaria. I am the keeper of Elysium for the city of Philadelphia.
Pleasure to meet you. My name's Ashton.
You'll be Mr. Vanguard, right? I have heard stories.
All true, I hope.
Actually, I kind of hope not.
Fair enough.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, ma'am. I'm Dr. Abaca.
So you'll be Beck, the dragon?
I'm Beck, correct.
Pleasure.
Mr. Knox.
Uh,
You may
Right.
also call me Sharky.
Sharky Knox. You're the sailor fella?
Sailor's a strong word, but I have been on a boat before. Yes.
Water mariner?
I can simply because of the forms that I choose to take doesn't necessarily make me a mariner. There's more important segments to that than other things. But yes, I can take certain abilities of my family.
Right, right. And
Definitely more of a city folk, unfortunately.
y'all were properly introduced to the spotting over there.
Oh, he has a
Not at all.
title.
I do not believe we were acquainted, ma'am.
You didn't even give him a name.
It seemed
You were in a hurry.
he liked standing there looking pretty and intimidating.
I like that one. He's smart.
Pretty. Is it because you can see your reflection in the helmet?
No, that would require me to not wear the helmet and like turn it around. Like the physics just don't work.
It was more of the fact that, he's standing there,
Oh, you have a type, and he's a bigot.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response. I'm
It's
not
okay.
going to dignify that with a response.
It's not the worst no I've ever heard.
You should be aware that his grace is something like 6'6", 6'8". Man is massive. So, maybe stay a less.
Ah, I suppose you get a good use out of your climbing skills then.
On occasion, it does make it a bit difficult to pick him up and shake him like an etch-a-sketch.
Do you find yourself requiring the need to pick him up and shake him like an etch-a-sketch often?
Well, every once in a while, you got to calibrate your ventru.
I do agree with that. That is a very true statement.
I'm sure you would know, Sharky. Naomi will go over. Look, I may not have worn the best top in the world that you think of, but I at least come bearing gifts.
That's I'll just John, people are here.
And with that, you hear the soft clicks of polished leather soles on hard marble flooring, with the accompanied thump of a cane. Striding into view is the imposing 6'8" form of the man you have been told is the Prince of Philadelphia, John Sexton. He doffs his hat, setting it on a nearby hat rack, before taking his place, standing at the head of the table, looking at the assembled. Good evening. I am so glad you could join us this evening. If anyone would like to spot something off about the prince, now's your chance.
I've been paying attention to everything. I would like to, please.
I will happily take wits and awareness. I would also take wits and insight.
I'll take insight.
While y'all are doing that, Naomi's just looking at it and like, yeah, the tallest Irishman I have ever fucking seen. I've seen quite a few.
Scandinavian on my mother's side.
Ah, that explains it.
Right. So, did you want to spend a willpower for that, Sharky darling, or did you want to just let that ride?
Sharky's just gonna let that ride.
Sharky looks up and goes, "Wow, he is a biggin."
Huh.
Cheesy Pete's, that sure is a tall Ventru. Uppies.
Prince, Your Grace, would you care to tell our other two what they might have noticed regarding?
The first thing that is noticeable is beyond the clearly well-tailored gloves that the man wears, the sharp suit. He is a cadaver walking. He has not affected the blush of life. His cheeks are hollow, his eyes sunken, but those marvelous hazel orbs stare at everyone in the room, save Alicia, in a hungry, predatory fashion. The man moves like a predator. He stands like a predator. He speaks like a predator. There is nothing about this man that is natural.
Right. So, John, darling, this is Naomi, my aunt, and this is Dr. Beck and Mr. Vanguard and Mr. Knox. They all work with Beagle.
I received the Lord Bridgerton's communication earlier. While it is sad he will not be in attendance, I do understand and appreciate his acknowledgement.
Yeah, would have been a bit of a buggy situation, so we decided to save you the trouble.
Well, perhaps Naomi, was it?
Ah, Naomi, Clan McDowell.
You can carry a message back to the Lord Bridgerton for me. Let him know that I will very much miss his company this evening, but perhaps we can meet again on more comfortable terms for him. I do miss our talks.
I'll let him know you want him for tea.
Not exactly the words that I would have used, but the sentiment's appreciated.
Ah, well, I'm not a carrier pigeon, so you'll have to do.
I think at this point in time, implying that I would have anyone has certain strong. And he will tug lightly on his jacket, pull out the chair, and take a seat. Please make yourselves comfortable.
At this point, before he sits down, he will let John sit down and get comfortable first as a sign of respect for his station as Prince of the City.
Smart man. Someone has more than a dot or two in etiquette.
So we wanted to make it a little bit less formal.
Yes, I didn't think it was necessarily appropriate to host you in a throne room. After all, you are emissaries to this city and not individuals who are used to bowing and scraping to a prince.
Used to is such a strong word. Don't ever fucking bet your life that's going to happen is probably more appropriate, at least for me.
Well, what he means is Naomi, Tia.
God damn it.
What he means is that y'all are allies, not subjects.
Oh, I know what he meant.
I think we were all aware, just our lovely Naomi felt the need to state it so plainly beyond any level of doubt, more than necessary.
I understand that many of you may wish to run cover for Naomi. I assure you, we are more closely related than some may assume. I, after all, come from Irish stock. We are not exactly used to genuflecting for a crown.
If that's English for, speaking plainly, then yes.
Well, I'm glad that speaking plainly is something that you enjoy, because that's something that I think most of us are good at. Well, I don't know about this one. And he sort of motions towards Vanguard. He seems like he can talk his way in circles, but I think most of us are very plain spoken.
Maybe just uh, uh, when you're talking to John, pretend you're talking to my daddy.
I think that kind of told me everything I need to know.
Right? Same level of respect.
Of course.
Of course.
Just because we may not bow and scrape, as you put it, Your Grace, doesn't mean we shouldn't treat you with the respect of your position.
It's greatly appreciated, Mr. Vanguard. Before we jump into the nitty gritty of things, can I offer any of you refreshments?
No, thank you. It is appreciated, nonetheless.
Oh, it's perfectly how does she put it? It's condition friendly.
Out of character question, G'day. Are you referring to, actual, beverage or...
Yes, she is referring
Oh,
to something like bloodshine or champagne or literal refreshments that are condition friendly.
okay. Then, once Ash puts two and two together, he's gonna look... Well, I would take you up on that offer, Your Grace.
We got bubblies, or we got something a little stronger, or we got something akin to wine.
I would more than happy love to take you up on a glass of champagne.
That I can do. And she's gonna toddle off to like a little bar and start rustling bottles around.
So, you are here to serve as emissaries for Lord Bridgerton, and by extension, Senor Santiago. Is that my understanding?
That would be correct.
Ah. So, do tell me, what is it that you each in turn hope to accomplish in my city? We'll start with you, Mr. Knox, since you seem to be the mouthpiece of the group.
I wouldn't call myself the mouthpiece, but personally, I would like to achieve a certain level of financial success that I've been grasping for, but back in the Southampton Roads, it just wasn't something I was capable of.
Hmm, interesting. I happen to have met the individual that operates the Hampton Roads Sanctuary. Dear man. Bit of a temper, but nothing I couldn't get past.
He was quite an enjoyable individual. I quite enjoyed my time with him. Unfortunately, it was just, you know, not the place for me, I feel like.
Does he still stop and try to give a report to every passing spider?
Does he? Yeah. Yeah, he does. Unfortunately, he does.
And his attention will turn to the good doctor. And you, Dr. Beck?
Uh, yes, sir. Well, I'm here to build relations and assist in matters that need be assisted.
Very well. And you, Mr. Vanguard, tell me, what is it you truly desire?
Things were getting a little stale in Nebraska. I'm a nightclub owner. Um, and as well as once I was kind of filled in everything here, of course, I'd be willing to help with anything with the goings on, as it were, in the city that you find you may need some extra hands for, Your Grace.
Mm, mm. Well, when it comes to extra hands, I have that in spades. But I do appreciate the offer. I believe there are some minor formalities we need to get through. As Prince of Philadelphia, and by the power vested in me by the Camarilla and the praxis I have claimed, I do grant each of you hospitality and what domain you may hold. It is my understanding that some of you may wish to keep haven outside of what has been granted to Sanctuary as safe harbor.
Um, yes, Your Grace, as I have a particular preferred method to my hunting style that I don't think that particular facility would lend itself to.
No, I do apologize if the selection of territory seems a little unbecoming. I was actually keeping Lord Bridgerton's particular bane in mind and ensuring that you each had privacy for your various dealings that don't involve the city.
Not at all, Your Grace. It's more my own particular taste that kind of affected it. I quite like the building and the location.
Trust me, I am quite familiar with particular tastes.
Right. So here's your drink, and I did take the liberty of rustling something up for the two of you. Uh, mostly wine related. Here you go.
Thank you so much, Madam Keeper.
Much appreciated, ma'am.
Well, in appreciation for your generous hospitality, nephew-in-law. I'll have to think of a good word for that. Naomi will pick this fairly sizable green box up off the table and look to Alicia like, can I just give it to him or do I have to give this to you?
No, you can hand that off. It like I said, pretty much the same level of respecting that you do if it was the senor.
The senor uncorked me, to be fair, my dear. This one, well, senor just happens to like very much, so I'll keep him in one piece. And she'll hand this very large green box over to John.
Now place the box in front of him, and he will, without giving it much of any thought, open up the box as though he is unconcerned with what may be inside.
Inside, laying in some crushed green velvet, is this very beautiful two-handled cup made of silver, copper, and bronze with gold filigree panels and enamel studs. It is 7 inches by 9.5 inches by 10 inches deep. It is an incredibly intricate vessel made up of over 350 separate parts. The bowl and base of this chalice are made of silver, while the stem in between is made of bronze. The 3 pieces are joined together with a copper bolt and feature gold and enamel detailing throughout. It is an Irish chalice. Is from the Ardog collection. You're not quite sure if this is the real thing or a very good replica. It looks pretty old. Who knows? Very Irish, though.
The man hoists it out of the box in both hands, holding it for a moment as he inspects it. I remember seeing just this piece when I was a boy. This is... Thank you, Naomi. And he will set it in the box and set the box off to the side, close the box back up again.
Alicia goes from having her hands just kind of perched on John's shoulder and leaning over to look at the present to just kind of being behind one shoulder and giving a double thumbs up while mouthing, "That was a really good present."
And we will just give a chuckle.
It will serve as a point of pride in my private collection. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Well, to be honest, I was half expecting you to present us with the skull and say it was for drinking the blood of our enemies, but this one is very nice.
Oh, I would have loved
you
that
can
just
do
as
that in
much.
this too. In fact, I have it on good authority that this chalice is very good for that.
Ashton would get up from where he's sitting, hand a little box to Alicia, and a slightly bigger box to John.
Oh. I mean, you didn't really have to. It's not exactly, like a normal etiquette to... Thank you.
You're welcome, Madam Keeper. He dips his head and then dips his head to John as well.
And John will again open up the box and peer at the contents.
So, John would notice sort of at the bottom is stationery that was the correct color blue for the Ventru shade of blue, a nice refillable fountain pen, and a set of nibs that would last the average person about a year, and a bottle of gold and black ink in the package as well.
The written word is such a treasure. Thank you, Mr. Vanguard.
Of course, Your Grace. My pleasure.
And he'll close up the box, set the box on top of the box for the chalice. Now, there are some, I hesitate to call them rules. It would feel too much like an imposition on my emissaries, my allies, my maybe perhaps one day friends. These are more suggestions for survival in Philadelphia. This is a unique city, and as such presents a few unique challenges. It is strongly recommended that you do not enter the subterranean tunnels of our city without a proper escort, myself or my wife. You would not wish to meet the Guardian of the Under alone. There is also a matter of the elevated rail. While we have a great deal of foot transit in this city, I would avoid the elevated rail at all costs. It is quite haunted, you see. Last, but certainly not least, rumors tend to swirl rather rapidly in this city. My recommendation is to trust, but always verify, either with the Lord Bridgerton, or you can reach out directly to Alicia or myself. But do not hesitate, please. Are there any questions, comments, concerns?
Did Davis tell you about the library?
Yes. Yes, Davis
Yes.
did do a wonderful job of telling them about the library.
We do, in fact, have a Carmelita Nielsen here in Philadelphia. I have made arrangements with the keeper of the library that it is to be open to all kindred residents of the city. Do feel free to avail yourself. It is located in the basement of the Philadelphia Public Library main branch building. You'll find a young lad there named Rowan Everly. Do treat him with the same respect you would treat me. After all, he is my child.
The keeper of the library deserves that level of respect.
And he is so very good at his job, Mr. Knox. You'll find that even managed to squirrel away some words from the Senor.
He did. Got a whole interview and everything. I cannot say I expected that.
Impressive.
Well, if Mr. Everly... sorry, go ahead.
Impressive.
If Mr. Everly ever wants a few more words out of the Senor, I've got a few decades of tales that you may be interested in.
You gonna let Daddy know before you spill all his secrets?
Oh, I won't spill the important ones.
Right. So y'all are aware. Um, we know y'all's rules almost as well as y'all know y'all's rules, and they are at least a couple of members of some of the upper level coteries that, so far as I know, ain't uh, renounced membership. Uh, should you need safe folks to talk to regarding that sort of thing, uh, the Oracle, lovely lady by the name of Cyrene Leclerc, Shadow fella by the name of Dante Dubois, creepy, short Irish fella goes by Finnegan O'Madra, and another shadow. This one, a femme presenting one, goes by Lenka Blisk. They are have been members here in Willow Grove.
It's quite remarkable how many people you've got of the Isles descent in the city here, Mr. Sexton.
I'm pretty sure it's something in the water.
Philadelphia has long been a magnet for Irish, Welsh, and Scottish individuals, along with some Italian immigrants, a smattering of German, but mostly, especially in the central city areas, Old City has seen a lot of those that were escaping the oppression of the crown.
Yes, it's a pity I couldn't fix that at all, but as long as, well, at least they had somewhere to go.
And we have made a welcome home for all here in Philadelphia. And I'm sure in time you'll see that too.
Beautiful home it is.
Did Davis warn y'all about some of the the other kinds of weird things take place here?
He did mention it to me, at least. I'm sure he mentioned it to the others.
I heard that there was a lupine diplomacy position that may be coming up. Very interesting.
We may, in fact, have need of several individuals who are less offensive to our Garu counterparts. It would not do well if I were to attempt to treat with them personally. After all, it is widely known my family holds a rather large measure of what is it that they called it, dear? Worm taint?
Something like that.
But someone more in touch with the wild may be more palatable for them. After all, we do not seek provocation, we seek peace.
Someone who walks on the wild side, as it were.
I wish your future emissary the best of luck. And I hope that they are successful for all of our sakes.
Doctor, I did want to let you know specific, though it is not exactly the most common to have members of your family, especially in a city like this. And we do have a few. Uh, we have a neonate fella, calls himself William Moriarty. He's a cousin.
Moriarty, like the Sherlock Holmes books.
Yeah, like the Sherlock Holmes villain. I wouldn't necessarily trust him to drive you anywhere. But he's a good enough fella.
Oh, I'm sure being in the car with William is fine. It's being anywhere outside of the car that may present some challenges.
If
So,
you do mean if he is in the car, correct?
He
Right.
may have run somebody
Okay.
over during the war.
Understood.
Oh,
Right.
there's no may have. He hit a fledgling. They actually flew rather far, if I'm remembering correctly from the reports.
I'm sorry, he did what with a what now?
He
It
hit a
was war. Things
fledgling
were
with a car.
chaotic.
Was it intentional?
I don't think so. I
Certainly
think it
not.
was an accident.
Well, all right. Certainly an informal method to using a motorized vehicle. All right.
I mean, they are literal death traps.
Uh, the Seneschal, also La Ronnier, they are fairly clearly a member of your ilk.
Well, I'll have to meet with them at some point in the future.
Do you happen to speak Latin, Doctor?
No, but I might know a few words.
You will want a translator. Should you meet with La Ronnier?
All right, I didn't take too kindly to my Catholic upbringing,
Most folks don't.
so I didn't pick up that particular skill.
Right.
Perhaps we can offer some lessons. I happen to be fluent in Latin myself.
If you say so, sir.
What an interesting city you have here, Your Grace.
So, are we also going to tell him about the other thing?
What other thing?
Hmm. Well,
You know, the it might not be a bad idea to carry some iron.
Ah,
Oh,
we do have at least two members of my court that are of the fair folk, and a non-zero number of the courts that do call the outskirts of my city home.
interesting.
are they at least friend? I recognize the ones in your court are obviously, but are the outside groups friendly at the very least?
As friendly as the Fae are known to be.
Hmm. So
I'm
none better.
sure. I'm sure Naomi could, if you find yourself lacking, could regale you with stories of home about how interesting the fair folk are.
I definitely have a type.
I don't know what happened. Sorry.
Well, if they're a
I
fair,
would just be careful the agreements you enter into. Perhaps a little iron in the pocket would not go amiss.
do we have a more definitive statement of their borders? I know ours are a certain level, and we don't have our own domains like many people do. But I know that they are also very territorial.
They don't really do definitive.
That's a good point.
I'm kind of
They're
allergic
not
to it.
they're not real big fans of coming like directly into the city. Something about the overabundance of iron.
It would make sense if the stories I heard as a child were true. A city
Philadelphia,
like this is. Sorry, Your Grace.
no, it's fine. Philadelphia does still have a thriving wrought iron industry, mostly artisanal these days, but historical preservation in mind, there is quite a bit of what they would term cold iron here in the city.
Oh, that's mighty convenient. Maybe they set it up for a reason back in the day.
The ones that are ours are a certain Mr. Mallory, a handsome fella, brunette, and well, if you ever met Seafra, you wouldn't forget her. 6 foot tall, leggy blonde.
Seifert is one that you might want as a seneschal translator, Dr. Beck.
Right, she speaks Latin quite well.
Sounds good.
Is she the one that I had heard mentioned might have antennae?
That'd be her, yeah,
Antenna, interesting.
and
This is.
wings.
Can she fly?
She
Quite well.
can.
Interesting.
How delightful.
Well, you could fly too, Sharky, if you just learned hard enough. I could teach you.
I feel like that's a threat.
Did,
I
did,
can help you with that.
See?
That
So
from
many
you
helpers.
is definitely a threat.
No, I'm
So-
not threatening. I'm offering assistance.
I don't think I want to go through the pain of having permanent wings.
Naomi, have you met Maury?
What was that?
Have you met Maury?
I don't think so.
Lovely woman.
Likes to toss her fellow close cousins out of trees.
Interesting. This is quite a lovely city. I'm looking forward to being here.
I mean, the logic
Oh.
is sound. Apparently, if certain gangrel types believe hard enough, they'll fly.
Oh, absolutely. It's the fear of landing that gets you there.
I can tell you I don't think that's how that works.
How do you think I learned?
You learned because you can turn into a bird. That's how you learned. You learned like everyone else when they learned how to turn into an animal. You just happen to be able to turn one that can fly. Maybe somebody threw you out of a tree, Miss Naomi, but I highly doubt you didn't know how to turn into a bird before that.
Oh, I turned into a four-legged creature before that. And there's a progression, you see. Yours just happened to start with flippers, apparently.
Well, I think, I think considering the fact that we're on a major river, I think maybe flippers is fine. Maybe.
You know that the procedure would be painless, right?
Darling,
Wait, it's supposed to be painless?
It can be.
how is it? I don't want to know how shifting bones in your body, breaking them and remolding them can be painless in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, that's real easy. See, your body's got all these wires going through it that send signals that tells your brain that you're gonna hurt. But if you cut that power off, it don't hurt.
I mean, you've got a point, Doctor. I suppose that would be a great way to make things not hurt, but it also sounds very detrimental to your health in other ways.
Oh, no, no. See, after you get everything where it needs to go, after you reshape it and rewire it, and you turn that power back on, it don't hurt. It's like you go to sleep and you wake up looking different, but everything's working and nothing ain't hurting.
But how do you know exactly where you're supposed to rehook up them wires? What happens if you cross them?
Well, see, that's why you need a very good doctor who studied anatomy and understands how the process works.
Honestly, I just took the pain and I just, channeled it into the rage. It's a great motivator, to be honest. I've been doing it for so long, I kind of forget about it, honestly. Of course, I could just be angry all the time.
Naomi, darling, I really do think it's a little column A and a little column B,
Isn't
respectfully.
I think as lovely as this whole operation sounds, I think I'll stick to where I am now, the way I am now.
Okay. But if you ever decide to change your mind, here's my card. Give me a call or come by my office. I'll be happy to take you downstairs to my lab and we can get that all fixed out for you. I'm going to do it in the lab because we don't need no humans, no regulars, no mortals seeing that happening. That's why I have a surgery.
Well, I don't think we're going to be working. We seemingly are going to be working quite closely in the near future. So I don't think this is necessary. But I will put it in with the rest of my cards. Thank you.
Well, we also have a couple of baronies on the outskirts, so I might be more cautious with them than some of the other folk.
What are the diplomatic situation with those baronies?
Well, hopefully, the diplomatic situation will be figured out real soon. We got our best folks on it.
It'll be nice to see what the pretenders are up to around here.
And by best folks, I don't mean you, Tia.
I'm aware.
Oh, of course not. I don't think either of us would be appropriate. I'm barely appropriate for some sort of social leading, but yet here I am.
And doing a fine job of it. I will make sure to send a glowing report to Lord Bridgerton.
Oh, I'm not trying hard enough then, I guess.
Nah, see, John would send a glowing report even if you set the penthouse on fire.
I mean,
it would
I guess
just
it
be
would
a
be
different kind of glowing.
like the way you think.
Very good, Nyacht. You're paying attention. Besides, we've missed so much time. You and I are going to have to get together privately. You can tell me all about Florida.
It was hot.
I'd rather not, but you two should enjoy some time. I'll pass on that particular plotting stories. Florida left a foretaste of my mouth.
Well, from what I hear, it's how my darling niece met you. So, she can fill me in, and then perhaps maybe, well, we can have a talk later.
And I'll introduce you to the sheriff too. I hope you like glitter.
That's
Well, what in the world does that have to do with it?
When you
My
meet her,
sheriff.
you'll know.
Would she happen to maybe have a supplier I could maybe take advantage of for different kinds of glitter?
I do believe that can be arranged.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Grace.
Of course.
Before y'all head out to enjoy the rest of your evening and such, have y'all been briefed on some of the city services?
City services.
Yes, I almost forgot. And John will reach into his coat and he will pull out three sets of cards, or three cards for each of you. One is a card for a law firm called Harrison and Company. One is a card for Sunshine Cleaners. And one is a card that just reads Meals on Wheels and a phone number.
Right. So, Sunshine Cleaners are folks that specialize in cleaning up certain kind of messes. If you catch my drift.
yes,
Do they use the sun a lot? Is that why the name is it?
It's clever branding.
Very, I'd say. Fiery, even.
Well, when your prince is Mithraean, you can't help but lean into it.
Hmm.
Oh, are we leaning now?
No, dear, we are not.
Right. And then the Meals on Wheels folks, instead of delivering to old folks, they deliver to old folks. Like elder folks.
Are you calling me old, Yakst?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
I mean, aren't you?
I am. But I'm virulently opposed to the term elder.
Well, there's elders and then there's elders.
I just choose to hate it all. It's just easier.
Well, you're just older than me.
I might accept that.
I've found you get used to the title after a while.
Do you prefer the term old as absolute dirt or dinosaur?
Just call me older than American dirt and we'll call it even.
All right, I can get. I can do that.
Ashton
pretty
has
sure.
taken out his wallet and put the 3 cards in there where he can find them pretty easy.
And they deliver. Well, what they deliver is going to depend heavily on, I guess, what tickles the palate. But they don't deliver folks. They deliver containers, mostly.
I'm going to take a gander and say that it would be easy for those meals to be consumed for some of us who are of a certain age.
Yes. For some folks, plain old bags that you can get off certain markets just don't satisfy. What the Meals on Wheels deliver is a bit more satisfactory to those of y'all who have reached a certain age.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That is a wonderful service, and I thank you both for making sure that that's available. While I'm old, I'm not that old, but it doesn't
It
go unappreciated nonetheless.
it is not a service provided free of charge, but
Oh, of
the
course.
prices are quite negotiable, as I
Indeed.
am certain that most of you do not participate in prestation.
You'd be surprised.
Hmm.
Haven't
Naomi
quite.
just sighs unnecessarily in Sharky's direction. It is obvious, it is not hidden. Just there's so much work to be done with this one.
I suppose it might have been an interest to me if I had ever found a deal that was worth going into that kind of debt over.
A man who knows his worth like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And even though most of y'all don't participate in that crustacean thing, uh, I might be just a tad careful with exactly what favors you might choose to trade for that particular service. As well, the individual who most frequently does the running for Meals on Wheels is well, it's Seafra.
So basically, what I'm hearing, Keeper, is that be careful what you do because you might end up
Oh, and
getting
a
more
debt
than
to
you.
the Fae. Yeah.
Yeah, getting a little more than you bargained for on that end of the deal. Thank you for the heads up. That is definitely good to know for all of our
Also,
sanity.
um, Mr. Knox, if you are interested in participating in prestation, a word of caution. My harpy is, well, for lack of a better term, an ironclad bitch. She's a hard shot.
She'd
And
take that as a compliment.
yes, I'm aware.
Hmm. Hardest thought. Haven't had a good meal in a while.
I would politely ask that you refrain from eating members of my court, but
Bes-
if we happen to find a spare one laying around, I'm sure I could send them in your direction.
Besides, she probably tastes like cigar smoke, whiskey, and bad decisions.
I've had that a time or two. You get used to it after a while.
Plus, you'd have to listen to her talk.
Oh, not for long.
Still, a nice woman. Uh, well, I reckon y'all probably have some exploring you'd like to do, staking claim on territory and the like. We'd hate to hold you.
As to not overstep my bounds, Your Grace, I want to just get some clarification. Would
Of
it
course.
be agreeable to you for me to take a, for lack of a better term, a haven with the explicit purpose as a hunting ground?
I think we can find you some place that will be suitable for your particular style of hunting. After all, I've already
Wonderful.
received dossiers on each of you, so I am quite familiar with how you feed.
Thank you, Your Grace. And he nods his head with proper etiquette and respect.
If there is nothing else I can do for you this evening, please avail yourselves of the hospitality my city has to offer.
I know when I hear get the fuck out. You have a good day, sir.
And with that, we will change the scene. But before we do, we are at our halfway point or thereabouts, our projected halfway point. So that means It's time for a break. Welcome back, darlings. We have snackies for raccoon hands. We have hydrated. Because it is either hydrate or die straight, and it is in fact the first day of Pride Month.
None of that. None of that.
So we all have our water. Very, very good. We have had an uneventful meeting with His Grace, which honestly is a bit shocking given the current company. Naomi.
I was on perfect behavior, I'll have you know.
Which is why we are all surprised.
I didn't toss anyone from a building. It was a very calm night.
Nobody is more shocked than the magical voice in the sky.
I really thought we were all going to die there. I'm not going to lie.
So you're all just kind of walking back to the SUV. You are given a ride back to your general haunts, the general area of the Eastern State Penitentiary. However, there is a little something, just a teeny, tiny, minuscule little thing. Y'all know where you're going. It's that little trailer where you met Davis Bridgerton the first time. That's where you're headed. It's the most logical place to give your reports, right? Except, well, there are people just kind of scrounging around the fence of the grounds. Four people. Four strange people.
Interesting. They don't look like anyone we recognize, do they?
Well, that would be a little bit difficult to say, since all four of these people are wearing the same strange, white, smiling mask.
How delightful. Um. Hmm. The security staff been alerted for the museum?
Well, if they have, they're not responding.
Hmm. Let's go speak to the security staff at the museum. See if they've been informed of this situation. See if they can get them to go away.
Is anybody taking we'll say a gander at our weird folks?
I was about to ask you to describe them, please. I can take a very good look if you would like.
I would be happy to have someone take a good look. If you would like to give me a distant awareness? Perhaps?
Okay. I can definitely tell you.
I will post a picture of the map in your Knitter's channel. There we go. Yes, that is accurate.
I had a very good roll.
Ooh. They're gathering. They seem to be gloved, masked. It's difficult to see, but the mouth holes on those masks are wide enough you can tell they're wearing something beneath the mask to cover their nose and mouth, probably surgical masks and 99s. It's not as if those things are rare in our post-COVID world. And the things that they're gathering are, well, they're glowing. Faint blue bioluminescent.
Ashton is going to activate shape change.
Yes. Do describe it for us.
Yeah, so you see Ashton sort of like shift down into this beautiful king cobra. Very gorgeous patterning on the back. And he just kind of goes small because he's like, if this turns into a fight, I have the upper hand if they don't see me because I'm a snake. And I need to roll a rouse check for shape change.
You're a sneaky snake.
Little sneaky snake. So, where is that? I passed my hunger check. My rouse check.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. And he is just... Because Sharky walked off to go check on the security guards, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, what are you up to, Doc? Sharky went to go see if he could find a security staff, and the other emissary just dropped to the ground and became a snake in public.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Oh, God. I think I'm just going to move into the shadows and hide for now.
We're going to take a little hidey hide and see what happens.
I wasn't here. This didn't happen.
It's kind of fade. I like it.
Okay.
I can dig it. Okay, Sharky, so what are we up to?
So, Sharky, being, using powers, usually not the best plan, especially not when you're in your own home and you got mortals around who can maybe handle this a little bit for you. So he's going to go find some of the security staff and he's gonna basically gonna kick his feet up when he gets there, because I'm assuming they probably have some sort of office or something that they probably take him back into. He's like, you see those weird guys out there that are picking stuff right out in front of our space here? This is a little well, what if they're picking something that might be illegal?
So
In which case we might be complicit.
you want us to go chase them away?
Yeah, could you?
So you want to give me a, we'll call it charisma and persuasion?
This isn't really manipulative.
I mean, I would accept an argument for manipulative on the basis of, it could be illegal. Go do that.
Go do your thing.
I'll go with charisma. It's a significantly worse roll. I am gonna blood smoke though.
You're gonna go with the significantly worse roll?
Okay, I'll go with manipulation. That's fine.
No one said he had a brain cell, y'all.
No, Doss has the brain cell and they want to give it
Apparently.
back.
Please come
Okay.
give it to Ashton, please.
I don't get hungrier, and that is 4 successes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So, somewhat begrudgingly and with very upset groans, because we all know night security is not the best of the bunch, are they? The 2 guards are going to get up and meander their way over because this asshole said they needed to go look. In the meantime, they do have cameras up, and quite luckily, you catch what they did not, which is your cohort, one of whom is trying with semi amounts of success to fade back into the shadows, and the other has just turned into a snake.
Well, he's gonna
Which
sit in front of the computer, and he's gonna look at wherever. Can he see, like, is it like an old video, like recording, like with tapes and stuff like that, or is it like?
it's not going to a cloud per se, but it is going to a hard drive. It's not an ancient piece of equipment by any means, but it's not exactly top of the line.
He looks at the hard drive, unplugs it, and just goes, just breaks the hard drive.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I won't even make you roll for it. I'll just give it to you. Because I know what your strength is.
And then he stands back up and mutters to himself, "They're going to get me killed." As he walks back out into the public.
Into the public.
Rock on. Rock all the way on. And you're heading back out to the grounds.
That is correct. He wants to watch them get shoot off.
Very good. So, Doctor, you, with varying degrees of success, I mean, the assholes picking ain't noticed you yet, but It's, well, let's just say you are trying really, really hard to kind of hide behind a tree that is not quite wide enough to hide you. You see two security guards coming out, presumably to go shoo, shoo, shoo. What's your move?
Ugh. He's just gonna put his hands in his pockets and away. Just walk away. I don't know what to do. This is not my area of expertise, and they're gonna get me killed. I'm just gonna put my head down and walk away.
I like it. I like it. Mr. Vanguard?
Once he sees the security guards, he's gonna slither out of the way to not scare them.
In which direction is he slithering? Is he slithering
Um,
toward those bioluminescent plants?
that's where the guys are that they're going to shoo off, right?
Yes.
I think he's gonna go diagonal to it, so if the guards don't work, he can scare them as Snake. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I want 2 rolls from you, Mr. Vanguard.
Okay.
I would like wits and awareness for
fuck.
noticing things about your quarry. You may add 2 dice considering your current present snaky form.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. Ain't great, but we'll rock with it.
And I also want composure and resolve.
Oh shit. Okay, that's 1 success on the wits awareness. And then you said composure and resolve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gonna blood surge on that. Or, and I get hungrier.
Okay. Those plants, the plants, they smell amazing. If you breathed in just a little bit more, if you smelled more, if you got just the tiniest bit closer, if you ate one, just a little nibble, it would be euphoria like nothing you have hitherto experienced in all of your almost incessantly long years of life. It's
But it's
definitely a temptation.
Mm-hmm. And it's glowing.
They are glowing, bioluminescent, yes.
Could I because he has a substantial occult skill. Can he maybe perhaps before he does anything extra, can he see if he actually knows what the hell these things are?
I mean, you are more than welcome to make an intelligence and occult roll.
Okay. That's simple. Okay. Two.
Well, they're not natural plants. Natural plants don't glow.
Clearly.
Natural plants would also not have this effect on a kindred.
So, kind of a follow-up question I have, good day, for you. When
Mhm.
he's smelling it, does it smell like Vitae?
Yes and no. It smells like blood, but it smells like no blood that he would have ever tasted.
He would know that that's not normal, and that's a red flag.
Gods, I hope so.
He's blonde, but he ain't dumb. Ish. Ish. So he's gonna go, like I said, he would have went diagonal to where he maybe could have hid in the grass, waiting on to see if the guards were effective or not.
And here come the security guards, being security guards, doing the shoo, go away, go, and they stop. One of these individuals in a mask looked up, met the eyes of these men, and your security guards appear to have come unplugged. They simply stand. They have stopped yelling, they have stopped shooing, and they simply stand there like appliances who have had their power removed.
Would he recognize that?
Oh,
Okay, I think I cut out.
Yep, you did again. Well, there you go. Your mouth's moving. Can we hear you?
Maybe?
Yes. There's a little
Okay,
bit of yeah.
apparently I cut out for a second. How familiar would Mr. Vanguard be with varying forms of the dominate discipline?
I would imagine, considering the kind of company he's kept, um, somewhat familiar, but not well enough to be like, this is a specific power, but could definitely tell it was something kindred related, if that makes sense.
I would absolutely say give me a wits and occult.
What's an occult? Okay,
Pretty peas.
of course. Fucking hell. 2.
Well, it's not natural.
God
Much
damn
like
it.
those bioluminescent plants, not freaking natural. Uh, which means that at least one of those 4 men is not natural.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
They all have heartbeats, though, which is passing strange, don't you think?
They all have heartbeats.
All 4 of them.
He's just gonna sit and watch.
Yeah, gathering plants. While the 2 security guards just stand there like knobs.
well, Sharky, who has now come back out, sees the security guards he sent out there being unplugged, is just going to hold his head like he's getting a headache. And is going to go walk over there to talk to the people with masks himself.
Oh, good.
Hello there. Lovely. Wonderful to meet you. You list these 2?
This has absolutely nothing to do with you. You can let us finish.
This is the domain of the sanctuary system, so it does have something to do with me.
The domain of what?
He leans in. This is my domain. So you can either tell me what you're doing here and we can make a decision, or I'm well within my right, considering you used something on these men here. I'm well within my right to destroy all four of you. So tell me what's going on right now.
You're on that side of the fence. We're on this side of the fence. Let us pick up the product and we'll go.
Leave.
Are we putting a little oomph behind that there, Sharky? My
We are
darling?
indeed.
What
And in
kind
fact,
of oomph?
Sharky leans forward. Let me see if I gave him this power. I think I did. As Sharky leans forward, his eyes flash as he activates Eyes of the Beast.
Oh, he's doing scaries?
He's doing scaries.
Ooh. And he's going to use that to enhance intimidation.
Just all of a sudden let them know exactly what they're dealing with.
Ooh. Will you roll me a manipulation and intimidation, please? You may add 2 for being spoopy.
Lovely. I'm assuming I don't get my coercion specialty.
You do not.
Thought so.
This is not coercion. This is get the fuck out of my house.
I'm still at Hunger 1. I'm going to Blood Surge. Ooh! Delightful! I think I'm going to re-roll some failures. I'm not going to re-roll that 10, though. 8 successes on a messy crit.
Oh! You know what? You know what? That's fine. That's fine. You lean down. You get your prettiest, most gangreliest growl in your tone. And you tell these folks to fuck all of the way off. And as you do, as you lower yourself to get somewhere near eye level with your glowing, spectral, beastly looking eyes, I need a composure and resolve. Please. And you will be taking a penalty of 2 successes because of your messy crit.
Okie dokie. So I am gonna Blood Surge on this if I'm allowed to.
You do not have time to prepare. You were too focused on scaring away the normies.
Do I get my Unswayable Mind?
Unswayable mind is primarily discipline based, or does it cover things like mind altering substances?
I believe it can cover mind-altering substances, but I don't know off the top of my head. I would need to check the actual.
Let me just go ahead and double check that since I have that pulled right up. And it's looking like my discretion. So, yes, you may add a dice for Unswayable Mind.
Okie
However, you are still taking the 2 success penalty.
Oh, I'm gonna re-roll some failures. 3 successes.
Okay. Um, what was Sharky like back in his more his salad days before he became this?
Sharky was not very different from the way he is now in a lot of ways.
So highfalutin?
Highfalutin. He was a small town. He was a small time bail bondsman and like loan guy, as well as his own repo man. So he was not exactly high class, but not exactly low class either. If that makes any
So
sense.
what exactly does Sharky know about intoxicants?
That they can make a person dangerous.
And does he have experience imbibing any of these
Oh yeah.
intoxicants?
Oh
What
yeah.
type?
I'd say for him, he had a lot of money, a small town, probably a lot of uppers. Uh, um, maybe a bit of hallucinogens too, but those would be more rare.
Oh, my dear. My sweet, sweet, beastly gangrel dear. This is fixin' to hurt. As you get close to those weird glowy things that these individuals are so intent upon collecting, it might strike our fairly intelligent, though seemingly impulsive, gangrel buddy. They are wearing masks. You are not. So as they are cutting, you get a faceful of the most glorious thing you have ever smelled in the entirety of your existence. It is like blood and sunshine and amazing. And as this scent sort of enters and surrounds you, it is euphoric. You have every ability you have ever thought of having. And what this feels like, sort of 2-hour intoxicant connoisseur, this feels like you have been hit by a train full of those uppers. The most pure cocaine you have ever experienced hitting you like a speeding freight train. And in addition to that, those mushrooms. It was only a time or two, but the feeling of those mushrooms, you can see everything as far as you could ever want to. The grass has auras erupting from it. Those men have auras erupting from their very flesh. You see and know the center of the universe. And what you see, not in the lead man, but in one of the ones nearby, you see those bestial eyes that you were so keen to flash and intimidate reflected. So, Doctor, you've got one compatriot being a literal snake in the grass. You've got two security guards behaving like appliances that have been unplugged. And you've got the second compatriot grinning like an idiot who has not moved away from those weird ass glowing plants. I will remind you, you are a fairly knowledgeable individual. You play a doctor. You have a cell phone. And you have numbers available for individuals who may be able to assist you.
After I see Sharky get dosed, what do the other those individuals do after that?
They seem to be doing what they said they would be doing, which is gathering their product so they can leave.
Cool. I'm not going to say anything. Just going to walk up, grab Dum Dum by the jacket, and pull him along, and then make a phone call to
So would you like to call Naomi your escort or Davis your boss?
I'd like to call my boss.
Dr. Beck, the rest of it. Is there a reason you're calling me? Naomi returned 10 minutes ago.
Yes. We were on our way back, and Mr. Sharky and Mr. Vanguard decided that they were gonna stick their nose somewhere it didn't need to belong. Sharky's he's in a state, and well, Mr. Vanguard is one amongst the grass.
Ah, right. Can you give me a brief synopsis of the situation?
Well, see, we were coming to make our report, and there's these individuals outside the fence. They seem to be gathering some plant that I ain't never seen. I ain't never recognized seeing this before. And, well, it's glowing, and they're just picking it up. Mr. Sharky went in, and he spoke with security, and they came out. And then they just stopped, and like their consciousness had just dipped. They came unplugged. Well, while Mr. Sharky was off getting those security individuals, Mr. Vanguard decided he felt a little slimy and slithery, and he kind of just became one with the grass.
Ah,
And he's I don't know where I can't reckon where he is. He's out there somewhere. And well, Mr. Sharkey, he lost his temper a tidbit when he realized that the security guards were just unplugged from the world, and he may have raised his voice and acted a fool at these individuals. Um, so I got him. I pulled him away from the situation, but he's not right in the head at the moment.
right. And you were all nearby?
Correct. I just need help gathering these two and scooting them off where they need belong.
Right. I'll be right there.
I do appreciate that, sir.
So, Mr. Vanguard, are you still just watching?
Once he sees the two of them walk off, he is going to slither his way to where he can go shape change back. Yep. And he's gonna wait till he gets to a safe place and just kind of boop, Dr. Beck, the good doctor, like, hey, pick me up.
He's gonna very, very timidly reach down, like he don't know what to do with you. He's gonna pinch you behind the head and just kind of hold you out.
I'm not a cat. He wraps himself around her arms.
Or
His arms.
There, it all.
Right. I will summon Naomi. And we will clean this up. Likely, we will need the help of individuals who have a much keener gift for convincing others that they forgot varying aspects. Did you note anything about them?
You would see Ash flicking his tongue like he wants to say something but can't, because I'm assuming they're still standing out in the open and he's not going to make the same mistake twice.
Right.
They had a mask on.
I will accept your written reports. Naomi, would you care to join us?
Do you want him?
Crow flies in.
Mr. Vanguard, are you going to be able to be and assist with cleaning this up?
He nods, but I need to turn back. But he needs to, turn human, and there's still people.
Okay.
So he's like,
you need to go somewhere, and then you can come back and join us on your own 2 feet.
yes. So he is gonna ask someone just to yeet him in the trailer real quick. It's gonna be like, yep. Ooh! And as he's in the door before he lands,
would you like to rephrase?
yes, actually, gently toss through the door, because what he's gonna do as soon as he hits the threshold, he's gonna shape change back.
Because you have been handed to a Nosferatu.
Yep, I realize
Nosferatu tend to have what set of skills?
Yep. I realize that now. I realize what I had done.
Okay.
After I did it, but I will change that back. He's gonna be like, wait, don't eat me, don't eat me. Gently throw me, Lord Bridgerton. He says in Snake.
Okay, let me go ahead and we'll get us a quick roll to see how controlled this yeet is.
Let's see how hungry the dice spot is.
Is this a controlled yeet or is this a problem? This is a fairly controlled yeet, though you do land a little bit harder than perhaps would be preferable. We'll call it one superficial damage for the yeet.
Fair enough, but as soon as Davis throws him through the threshold, he has immediately shape changed back and gets up, brushes off his suit, walks out like he was never a snake. I mean, he is a snake, but I digress.
Doctor, it may come to mind that this may be something in which you excel. It may also come to mind, Doctor, that the alternative is folks for whom brutality is second nature will be doing what they do best. So you do, of course, have the option of passing along a Sharky and doing things with a slight bit less bloodshed, should you choose.
As Ashton walks back out, he is going to lean down to Lord Bridgerton and whisper, I think one of them might be a ghoul.
Yes.
Just so you're aware. I don't think any of them are actual full blood, if you know what I mean.
So they may be a tad more sturdy.
Well, at least one of them. I noticed they all had heartbeats. And one of them, I watched as one of them unplugged the two security guards there.
So, Doctor, what you thinking?
I'm thinking I want to hold on. I'm trying to get material so I can verify myself on what's what real quick. Can't remember which one I want to use. I'm just going to cut the power off in Sharky for their motor skills. Temporarily.
Okay. So we are temporarily okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out which one I need.
I mean, you could probably just hand off the high boy to one of the stronger individuals without accidentally cutting off a nerve ending.
Yeah. I'm going to have the strong person hold him, and I'm just going to... I don't want him fighting. I just... just until he's out of his state.
Okay, so we're going to try to make Sharky CP?
Yes.
You might get those wings after all, Sharky.
You know, Sharky is not particularly in a manner of speaking to be really resistant.
He's either really resistant or not at all, and he's not at all right now.
Yeah, no, he's about as boneless as like al dente spaghetti.
Yeah.
Right. So We will take care of this. You should take care of him.
Okay. So rouse. Okay. I need to do a rouse and then roll.
What are we attempting to do? Are we just smacking him with something? Are we like...
I'm using fleshcraft to
Okay.
cut off that power. Just temporarily.
You just gonna go night night for a bit, home slice?
Yeah.
You taking a nappy?
This is deranged.
This is like staking for the poor because we don't even need a stick.
And I can't, there's no way, no matter how much protein I have, I can't fix this on my own.
Into torpor with you. It is nap time for Sharky.
Sharky doesn't need to be awake.
In the meantime, Naomi, individuals for whom brutality is second nature, would you like to make, for example, like strength and brawl or strength and melee rolls just to get us on the moving?
With claws? Happily.
Yes.
They're feral tearing and ripping sounds. That is all I will say.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
How we looking? Good, Doc?
That's a 4 with 4 successes.
Yeah. Use the doc. You are absolutely going to be more than capable of just kind of flicking the awake switch.
And you're asleep.
Good night, Sharky.
I'm just going to make it look like I did a pressure point thing on him.
Still keeping to the masquerade. We like it. We stand. Naomi has gone. Well, Naomi, doll face, darling. Would you be maintaining a semi-human shape? Or would you be doing something else?
She will she's gonna maintain more or less human shape. She's just, claws. she enjoys bathing in the blood of her foes, and she doesn't have to do it in an animal form to enjoy it.
Thanks, I hate it. Mr. Vanguard, what is your thing that you are doing?
Well, I think Naomi's handling it, right?
Naomi has gone, for lack of a better word, fucking feral.
Mm-hmm. What is Lord Bridgerton doing?
Lord Bridgerton is standing well back and just kind of gently guiding the robots back toward where they should be.
Did Sharky hit the ground, or does Ash have a hold of him?
I don't know. Would you have allowed Sharky to hit the ground, or would you have kept him up?
You'd have kept him up.
Lord Bridgerton will also be bringing the robots back toward Dr. Beck and suggesting that Dr. Beck kindly remove about the last 10 minutes.
Yep, Dr. Beck will look them in the eyes. and say, forget.
Oh, good. Um.
I don't like that.
Naomi, I would like a
Yes.
resolve, composure, and 1/3 of your remaining humanity rounded down, please.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
Resolve plus composure.
I'm paralyzed.
Oh, that's
No.
just what I call easy snacking.
Oh, for all the heavens.
That's okay. That's that many dices.
Let's hope it's a good amount of dice, or we're all royally fucked.
What are your feelings, Mr. Vanguard, about violence?
Hold on. I forgot to put it on the sheet. So I gotta go back and look.
And, Doctor, I imagine after the forget, you would be witnessing this as well. Brutality. Feelings?
No likey. He's very uncomfortable at the moment.
Oh, thank heaven. Oh, thank heaven. Okay.
I'm so sad.
Naomi is ripping through these individuals. It is unnerving. It is one thing to watch an animal do something like this. It's almost natural to watch a beast do something like this. This is a woman still in human form with nails formed into claws, essentially tearing through these individuals like she is a food processor.
She is enjoying every single minute, and it is unmistakable. You cannot miss it, except for Sharky, who's in torpor. That definitely misses it. But anyone else who's conscious, she enjoys being a monster. She enjoys getting to let loose. So thank you.
This woman is making a dude smoothie. There will be no dead bodies to come and see. There will be scraps. And that is it. Just scrap.
I would say, to answer your question, G'day, Ash is a little unnerved, mainly just by the bestial nature of it all. However, based on one of his convictions, he's very happy with what Naomi just did, because that really is sort of holding true to one of his personal convictions. In a very gory way, but is doing it.
And what conviction would that be, Monsieur Vanguard?
Defend what's yours.
We stand in a weird sort of way. Lord Bridgerton is just standing there appalled.
I believe I might need to roll a will save for Dr. Beck for his backstory reasons.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Witnessing what is apparently what is very similar to a vivisection with a lot less medical prowess.
Yeah.
Can I
What
heal
is that
myself?
again?
So your willpower would be your remaining will. I don't believe you have burned any this evening.
I burned 2, but I still have 3.
So it would be your remaining willpower. So
Mhm.
3 plus 1/3 of your humanity rounded down.
Got you. That was the part that I couldn't remember.
Yes. And would this be rage or fear?
Fear.
Can I also heal my nerve damage?
Mhm.
The way
Sorry.
that shifting works.
Can I be awake now? Can I come into the out?
At this point, I would say Ashton has swooped Sharky up into like the bridal cradle and has walked him inside and just plopped him on the couch. Goes back out and shuts the door to do any other cleanup.
Doctor, you will take this as your opportunity to nope right the fuck out of there. No, thank you. This is nope. You are all for women's lib. You are all for women, yes, but women who can kill you, that is kind of your bag. But that, no. No, the fuck not. Nope and out.
So you're not coming into the out anytime soon, Sharky.
Nope. We are done with this. Red may be a color that you like, but this is way too many fucking red flags. No, thank you. Home. So, with that, we have our emissaries safe where they are supposed to be, in theory. They are supposed to be in the Eastern State Penitentiary. And I'm sure as soon as she gets over the fact that she just watched 3 or 4 dudes get turned into dude smoothie and basically vivisected in front of them, the doctor would be more than happy to fix Sharky's little boo-boo so that he wakes up in full possession of his faculties once more. But right now, though, no. Nuh-uh. No, thank you. And with that, since our erstwhile emissaries find themselves no longer involved in this particular interesting scene, that is where we will close. Ta-da! So, since this is where we are closing our scene, no doubt with Lord Bridgerton feverishly phoning the cleanup committee because you can't just leave shreds of human on the front lawn.
Shit.
Why not? It's good fertilizer.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
I mean, if I hadn't have been terrified, it would have been fine, but you had to go and scare me.
That is where we will end our scene. So, now we're going to do... Really? Really, Einar?
Oh, God.
Really? Anyway, that is where we will end our scene, which means we get to do our outros. So, hi, I'm the storyteller. I am G'day Effects. Anywhere you care to find me.
Is it my turn?
And
Is it my turn?
now
Okay.
we'll go to
Okay.
Mr. Vanguard.
Hello. My name's John. You can find me on TikTok at that nerd guy, or whatever your poison is. And yeah, passing it right along.
That's you, Sharky.
Hi, my name's Chandler. I play Sharky. You can find me on TikTok as KingdomO905. Yeah.
Doc.
My name is Doss. You can find me on TikTok as DossBruner13. Basically anywhere. In fact, I'm DossBruner13. So, Darth.
Lysander. The Spartan.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Ryan. Today I had to play Lysander, the Spartan surveyor to the tower. Currently making sure John doesn't eat anybody. You can find me at Darth Caustic right there. You can also catch me back here running the Neonate sessions on the fourth Saturday of every month. And if you go elsewhere, you can find me playing some other games on the Slices and Dices channel.
Hi, I'm Nick, local Discord wizard, SPC specialist, and general pain in everyone's ass that they somehow seem to like. I'm not sure, haven't figured it out yet. So if you do, tell me. If you can find me on social media, the Nick Shadow is there. That one of these directions. It'd be the place to do it. I'm not very active much, but if you can find me, great. Fearless leader.
Hi, I am Einar. At Einar_TTRPG on the TikToks and pretty much anywhere else that I want you to find me. You can also catch me the first Saturday of every month running the Ancilla table. And that's all you need to know.
Well, thank
He's also
everybody
pretty fantastic, so.
Thank everybody for watching Philly by Night. It was an eventful first session for the Emissaries.